Virgo, stop scrolling, stop multitasking, stop half listening while you do something else. Because what I'm about to tell you requires your full attention, requires you to actually hear it, absorb it, take it seriously. Something big is happening for you, not to you, for you, in your favor, working on your behalf. And it's serious, not frivolous, not surface level, not the kind of thing you can afford to miss or ignore or take lightly. This is the kind of shift that changes trajectories, that redefines what's possible, that marks clear before and after in your life story. And you need to see this now before it arrives so you can recognize it when it comes, so you can prepare to receive it properly, so you can position yourself to make the most of it instead of letting it pass you by because you weren't paying attention or weren't ready or dismissed it as too good to be true. So let's explore this. What's happening, why it's serious, when it's arriving, and what you need to understand about moments this significant so you don't fumble the opportunity when it presents itself. Take what resonates here. This is about major opportunity approaching. You remain in control of your response, always. This is simply an invitation to wake up to what's forming before it's fully formed so you can meet it with readiness. Let me start by describing the nature of what's happening because big and serious needs definition. This isn't entertainment. This isn't a pleasant surprise that makes you smile and then you move on. This is consequential. This is something that requires decision, action, commitment. This is an opportunity that will demand something from you, your courage, your faith, your willingness to step into uncertainty, your ability to trust yourself when you can't see the full picture yet. And here's why it's serious, because it's not reversible. Whatever door is opening, once you walk through it, you can't go backwards. You can't return to who you were before this happened. The choice you make around this opportunity will determine the next chapter of your life, will set you on a path that branches away from where you've been. And that weight, that significance, that's why you need to see this. So you approach it with appropriate gravity instead of casual curiosity. Now, let me talk about what this might actually be, because the energy shows different forms for different people. For some of you, this is a professional opportunity that's beyond anything you've experienced before. Not a promotion, a leap. Not an incremental step, a quantum jump. An offer that scares you because it requires you to grow into it, that asks more of you than you've given before, that pays more, demands more, exposes you more, that could fail spectacularly but could also succeed beyond what you've allowed yourself to imagine. For others, this is relational. Someone entering your life or someone already in your life revealing themselves differently. And this isn't casual dating energy. This is life partner potential. This is I could build a future with this person reality. This is meeting someone who matches you in ways you'd stopped believing existed. And it's serious because saying yes means opening your life to someone in permanent ways, means risking your heart after protecting it for so long, means believing in partnership again after disappointment taught you skepticism. For some, this is geographical. an opportunity to move, to relocate, to completely change your environment. Not a vacation, a life shift, a chance to start over in a new place, to leave behind what's familiar and build something new somewhere else. And it's serious because it requires leaving people, places, comforts, requires faith that what you're moving toward is better than what you're leaving behind. And for others, this is creative or entrepreneurial. Something you've been building or dreaming about suddenly becoming viable, suddenly having resources or support or opportunity attached to it. The chance to actually pursue what you've been doing on the side, to make your passion your priority, to bet on yourself in ways that feel terrifying and exhilarating simultaneously. And it's serious because it might require leaving security for potential, choosing possibility over guarantee. Um, Let me slow down here because I need to address why you might miss this if you're not paying attention. Big, serious opportunities don't always announce themselves with obvious fanfare. Sometimes they show up disguised as normal moments. A casual conversation that leads somewhere unexpected. An email that seems routine but contains a doorway. A chance encounter that feels coincidental but is actually orchestrated. A thought that won't leave you alone that's actually guidance trying to get your attention. And if you're on autopilot, if you're not present, if you're too distracted or cynical or defended, you'll miss it. You'll dismiss it. You'll tell yourself it's too good to be true, or the timing's wrong, or you're not ready, or it's too risky. And the opportunity will pass. And months from now, you'll wonder what if without realizing the what if already happened and you said no without even knowing you were saying no. Drop a comment if you've already sensed something big forming. If you've had restlessness or anticipation or this feeling that something's coming but you can't name what. If you've been having dreams or synchronicities or this sense that your normal life is about to get interrupted by something significant. Because I think many of you are already picking up on this energetically. You just haven't had it named yet. You just haven't had confirmation that yes, what you're sensing is real. You know what else I'm sensing? The timeline. This isn't years away. This is weeks to a couple months maximum. Close enough that you need to start preparing now. Close enough that decisions you make today affect your readiness for what's coming. Close enough that you don't have time to waste staying stuck in patterns or situations that don't serve you, because when this opportunity arrives, you need to be free enough to say yes to it. Let's sit with this for a moment. What if this big, serious thing is exactly what you've been asking for, but in a form you didn't expect? What if the universe heard your prayers, but answered them in ways that don't look like what you pictured? What if you've been asking for love and it shows up attached to someone who's geographically incompatible, requiring you to choose between comfort and connection? What if you've been asking for career breakthrough and it shows up requiring you to leave a secure position for uncertain potential? What if you've been asking for change and change shows up demanding you become different, not just wanting different? Would you still say yes? Would you have the courage to receive what you asked for when it doesn't arrive conveniently? When it asks more of you than you anticipated, when it requires you to bet on yourself in ways that feel uncomfortable, because I think that's part of why this is serious. It's not just being handed to you, it's being offered. And accepting it requires something from you. Let me offer you practical guidance about preparing for this. First, clear space in your life now and commitments that don't serve you. Release relationships that drain you. Simplify your obligations. Create bandwidth, because when this big opportunity arrives, it will require energy and time and focus. And if you're already maxed out, if you have no capacity, you won't be able to engage with it properly. You'll be too overwhelmed to say yes or too stretched to do it justice. Second, work on your worthiness now, because if you don't believe you deserve big, serious opportunities, you'll sabotage them when they arrive. You'll find reasons to say no. You'll convince yourself you're not ready, or it's not real, or someone else deserves it more. Do the internal work now that allows you to receive without self-sabotage. Tell yourself daily that you're worthy of good things, that opportunities this significant can happen to you, that you're capable of rising to meet them. Third, get financially stable enough to take risks. Save money if you can. Pay down debt. Create cushion. Because big opportunities often require short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, require investment before return, require you to have enough stability that you can afford to bet on yourself without immediately drowning if things don't work out instantly. Fourth, strengthen your support system. Make sure you have people who will encourage you to say yes to scary opportunities, who will support you taking risks, who will remind you of your capabilities when you're doubting, who will hold space for your fear without letting you stay paralyzed by it, because you're going to need those people when decision time comes. Fifth, practice saying yes to smaller uncertainties now. Say yes to invitations that make you slightly uncomfortable. Try things you're not sure you'll be good at. Take small risks that build your risk-taking muscle. Because when the big, serious opportunity arrives, you need to have practiced choosing courage over comfort in lower stakes situations, so you're capable of choosing it when stakes are high. Let me ask you one final question. What would it cost you to say no to this when it arrives? Not just the immediate opportunity lost, but the long-term trajectory change. What would your life look like 5 years from now if you said no out of fear? If you chose comfort over growth? If you let this pass because you weren't ready to be uncomfortable? And what would your life look like if you said yes? If you took the leap, if you trusted yourself enough to grow into something bigger than you've been, if you let this opportunity transform you instead of shrinking it down to fit your current comfort zone, the difference between those two futures is one decision. One moment of courage or fear, one choice to trust yourself or to play it safe. And that moment is coming soon. And you need to decide now what kind of person you want to be in that moment. Someone who says yes to their potential, or someone who says no to protect their comfort. Here's what you need to see. Here's what you absolutely cannot miss. Something big and serious is happening for you. Not maybe, not possibly. It's already forming, already in motion, already approaching your reality. And it's going to require you to be awake, to be present, to be ready, to be brave. You can't sleepwalk through this. You can't be distracted or dismissive or too defended to recognize it. You have to be paying attention. You have to be willing to see opportunities even when they don't look exactly like what you pictured. You have to be ready to say yes, even when yes feels scary. Because this is the kind of moment that defines lives, that separates people who grow from people who stay stuck, that creates the stories people tell later about how everything changed. And you're about to be in one of those moments. And whether it becomes a story about courage or a story about regret depends entirely on how you respond when it arrives. Take what resonates from this reading, leave what doesn't. And remember that you remain in control of your choices, of your readiness, of whether you say yes or no when the moment comes. Something big and serious is happening for you. You need to see this, need to prepare for this, need to take this seriously instead of dismissing it as hype or positivity or wishful thinking. This is real, this is coming, and you need to be ready. Trust your inner knowing. Trust that you can handle big opportunities. Trust that you deserve serious consideration for serious things. Trust that you're capable of rising to meet what's coming. Trust that fear is normal, but it doesn't have to stop you. Trust that you can say yes, even when yes feels terrifying. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this seriously. Thank you for being someone who's willing to prepare for opportunity instead of just hoping it works out. You're exactly where you need to be. On the edge of something big, something serious, something that will require you to grow into the next version of yourself. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Stay awake. Stay ready. And when the moment comes, say yes. Even if you're scared,